Welcome to For Perspective, a podcast that dives into my perspective or others on topics surrounding technology, engineering, productivity, and creativity. Today, I'm going to talk about being an introverted YouTuber. And this is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It is really hard. I am definitely more comfortable behind the keyboard, writing or coming up with ideas. And I often come up with ideas that as I visualize them and picture them in my head, I don't yet have the skills to capture what I want to do or the skills in the editor even to make what I want to make at the end of the day. So it's definitely tough. My day job uses up a lot of my people skills because I interface with a lot of different groups as an engineer, and pretty much am solving people problems first a lot of the times. The technical problems are often easier to solve. So that kind of brings up my first point, that actually executing is hard. I think for me, coming up with the ideas and planning is easy. Figuring out what I want to do and when I want to do it is actually the easy bit. And before I sat down to record this podcast, I might have been sitting here for 10 minutes with all of my lights on, thinking about, what am I going to talk about today? What am I going to say? How's it going to come across? What's it going to sound like? What am I going to look like on camera? So it's definitely a challenge, but overcoming it is something that I've, been able to watch myself learn and grow over the past year and a half, posting videos on YouTube. I've come up with new camera skills. I've come up with new, maybe a new presence on camera even. And things have been going pretty well recently. I've kind of hit my stride. Been putting out a video every week for the past few months after taking a little bit of time off. And it's been going well. So as difficult as it is, to make a video every week and still feel uncomfortable as I turn on the camera and sit here and I see myself in the screen off to the side. I'd still rather do this than go to something like a party and have to talk to other people face to face. So, I'd rather sit through these uncomfortable moments, wondering what I'm going to say on camera. That's even easier for me than, draining my social battery. And at the end of the day, I've been really happy with what I've come up with and what I've been able to make, because at work, it's a little bit different. The time span of a project is significantly longer from start to finish. You're measuring these things in years or maybe even decades. So to be able to come up with an idea and write something down and turn it into a finished video in maybe a week or two is really fulfilling. And so the growth that I've seen over the past, call it 6 months, maybe, it's funny because I'm assuming that this never changes. That if I go back and watch something from 6 months ago that I did, it's a little bit painful to watch. And I kind of question, okay, why did I do that? Why did I say that way? Oh, I left out some B-roll. Thank you, commenter. You find all the things that you did wrong, but you were doing the best you could at the time, and putting in the practice and the repetition, I think, is what helps. So I'm assuming that never goes away. And, watching videos from a year ago now is even painful. I continue to be kind of astounded that some people are still watching some of those old videos. So I thank everybody for that. And I hope to just keep progressing as I go. So by the time I posted a video, I've probably watched it 20, maybe even 30 times. The first cut is pretty quick to chop it down to what it's going to be, but it takes me a while, and I always toil in the edit over, where do I need to put B-roll? Do I have the B-roll that I need, which is always a problem. I don't shoot enough B-roll, and it takes me a while to get to something that I'm happy with and that I want to put out. So I think it is good to go back in time, though, and look at yourself and watch the videos, and you really appreciate the ways that you've grown over time, and can think about, ask yourself questions like, what could I have done better? Write those down in a lessons learned database, and ask yourself things like, would I watch this as a viewer? I think about that as I'm editing the video often now. I'm thinking about, I recently recorded a video about Pixelmator Pro. I watched it back. I cut it down. So I did the first cut, so it was semi-coherent. I watched it back and I said, this is terrible. I would not watch this as a viewer. And I ended up re-recording that video. So a lesson learned there. Now, doing YouTube as a full-time employee and working on a YouTube channel as an introvert it's like an extra level of difficulty. It's like you chose to do this on hard mode because, like I said, oftentimes throughout the day, my day job tires me out to the point where when I come home throughout the week, I don't have the energy to sit in front of the camera and challenge myself anymore because I've been doing that all day. So I have come up with kind of what the minimum level of support for YouTube is. And what I mean by that is kind of how many videos can I put out within a week that I think I could do, till the end of time without burning myself out. And it's, so I try to write videos throughout the week. So like Monday through Friday is try to come up with ideas and write, because I may not have energy to sit in front of the camera, but I can sit on the couch and pull up the iPad and type up a few things. And on the way to and from work, I often listen to podcasts or audiobooks that spur inspiration. And so I'll take an Apple Note in the car on the way to or from work, and then come home and try to expand that out a little bit. Do I have a personal story that I could wrap into this, and make it a little bit more interesting than just talking about the thing? And I found that balance throughout the week is like 2 videos. I can kind of write and think about and record 2 videos at a time. I've tried batch shooting before where I come up with 4 or 5 videos and I sit here on a Saturday for, maybe over an hour recording 2, 3, or 4 videos. And that is just too mentally taxing. It's like a 6th work day for me. So Monday through Friday, go into the 9 to 5, come home, doing everything else in life, and trying to write some YouTube videos. Getting to the weekend, doing 2 feels about right. It's kind of like draining my battery a little bit, but to the point where I don't just want to sit on the couch and play video games after I've recorded 4 videos, because I often have the urge to just hop right into Final Cut Pro and start editing the videos as soon as I'm done recording, which is a very easy way to just lose the whole weekend to YouTube and work an extra, 2 days out of the week. So I try to give myself a little bit of a break here, recording the videos on Saturday, and that's A-roll only. And I like to cut the video first and then go back and make a shot list for B-roll if it's talking about a product or whatever. And as far as the writing and scripting goes, I do kind of write out the entire video before I start, and I like to keep a bulletized list handy. And I'm trying to do this podcast a little bit differently, where I'm speaking, like I've written down kind of a few key talking points here, and I'm trying to read and look from those and draw on my experience. More so where for the real the real YouTube video, I do kind of script that out, and I don't read line for line, but there are certain talking points that I want to get out, and I want them to be spoken the way that I wrote them. So sometimes the bulletized list works, but I'm still working on the skills in my own head to think about, what am I going to say next? What's coming out of my mouth right now? What am I going to say next? What did I just say? I think that gets developed over time. Right now, I don't have that ability. So I still even stumble through the scripted method of trying to remember 2 or 3 sentences and saying them the way that I want them to come out. So I'm hoping that practicing for the podcast here starts to help that. I'm sure this first episode, I'll think back to that the same way as I do some of my 6-month-old or year-old videos. I'll think back, what were you doing on that first episode? But you know what? I'm here. I recorded the episode. It's going to come out. I hope you enjoyed it. And I've got a number of different topics that I want to talk on a little bit more in depth than a regular YouTube video. So I expect more of this in the future. I'm not sure what frequency I'm going to do yet. I won't say weekly because we got a lot of things going on here, both with the YouTube channel and my personal life as well. So thanks for watching or listening wherever you found me. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, like it, rate it, review it. That'll help out greatly. I appreciate it. That's it for this week. Thanks. See ya.